For over 50 episodes, Kiyaya and Daniel have been here sharing lots and lots of great books. We look forward to the next 50 episodes. Join us every day at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard for Let's Get Cozy, because it's story time with Kiyaya and Daniel. Forever Thursdays and Fridays are ending today with the conclusion of Tuck Everlasting. I know, Kiyaya, it's such a great book, but I don't know about you, but I'm really excited to see how it ends. And to make it even better, we're joined by another fantastic guest host. Imani Burroughs, a member of the SUNY Plattsburgh class of 2019, will be sharing the conclusion of Natalie Babbitt's Tuck Everlasting. Yes, Kiyaya, she was one of my students too. If you haven't gotten it, this has been a pattern for all of these readings. Smart aleck. Imani is actually going to become a middle school math teacher the next academic year, which is very exciting for me as one of her former teachers. Imani remembers going around the classroom while she was a student in my class and reading Tuck Everlasting aloud. She also remembered having her turn when she got to read portions of the book out loud, and the deeper she got into it, the more excited she became to be the reader. She loves to read books on character strength. She wants you to know that reading is fun, and you can instantly learn something new with each line that you read. She encourages you to find what you like to read, and stick with it, and read what you like to. She also wants to let you know that she was a TED Talker, and we're going to be sharing her TED Talk on the Stitching Wolf website, as well as our Facebook page, on the power of failure. Be sure to check that out, because Imani is a powerful public speaker. So, sit back, relax, get cozy with me and Kiyaya as we dive in to the conclusion of Natalie Babbitt's Tuck Everlasting. It's happening now on Let's Get Cozy, because it's story time with Kiyaya and Daniel. Are you a singer, an actor, an artist, a crocheter, a knitter, a cross-stitcher, a potter? Are you a crafter? Coming soon to Rude Rangers TV is Crafty Conversations with... That's right, my outspoken friend Kiyaya and I are going to be launching our new show on Rude Rangers TV this spring. Email us at craftyconversations@stitchingwolfdesigns.com if you're interested in sharing your story with us. Follow us on our social media accounts. Or check our website out, www.stitchingwolfdesigns.com, or give us a call, 516-274-0350. The possibilities are endless. Stories are such an important part of our lives. Join my friend Kiyaya and I for Get Cozy, because it's story time with Kiyaya and Daniel, where we share some of the greatest picture books and chapters from children's and young adult literature to inspire you to keep embedding literacy into your days. I'm Daniel, and Kiyaya and I are here to share this all with you.
Chapter 24. Leaving the house was so easy that Winnie felt faintly shocked. She had half expected that the instant she put a foot on the stairs, they would leap from their beds and surround her with accusations. But no one stirred, and she was struck by the realization that if she chose, she could slip out at night after night without their knowing. The thought made her feel more guilty than ever that she should once more take advantage of their trust. But tonight, this one last time, she had to. There was no other way. She opened the door and slipped out into the heavy August night. Leaving the cottage was like leaving something real and moving into a dream. Her body felt weightless, and she seemed to float down the path to the gate. Jesse was there waiting. Neither of them spoke. He took her hand and they ran together, lightly, down the road, past other sleeping cottages, into the dim and empty center of the village. The big glass windows here were lidded eyes that didn't care, that barely saw them, barely gave them reflections. The blacksmith shop, the mill, the church, the stores, so busy and alive in daylight, were hunched, deserted now, dark piles and shapes, without a purpose or a meaning. And then ahead, when he saw the jailhouse, its new wood still unpainted, lamplight spilling through a window at the front, and there in the cleared yard behind it, like a great L upside down, was the gallows. The sky flashed white, but this time it wasn't heat lightning. For a few moments later, a low mumble, still far away, announced at last the coming storm. A free breeze lifted Winnie's hair, and from somewhere in the village behind them, a dog barked. Two shadows detached themselves from the gloom as Winnie and Jessie came up. Tuck pulled her to him and hugged her hand, and Miles squeezed her hand. No one said a word. Then the four of them crept to the back of the building. Here, too high for Winnie to see into, was a barred window through which, from the room in front, light glowed faintly. Winnie peered up at it, at the blackness of the bars with the dim gold of the light between. Into her head came lines from an old poem. Stone walls do not a prison make, nor iron bars a cage. Over and over the lines repeated themselves in her head till they were altogether meaningless. Another roll of the thunder sounded. The storm was moving nearer. Then Miles was standing on a box. He was pouring oil around the frame of the window. A swirl of wind brought the thick, rich smell of it down to Winnie's nostrils. Tuck handed up a tool, and Miles began to pry at the nails securing the window frame. Miles knew carpentering. Miles couldn't do the job. Winnie shivered and held tight to Jessie's hand. One nail was free. Another. Tuck reached up to receive them as they came out one by one. A fourth nail screeched as it was pried up, and Miles poured on more oil. From the front of the jailhouse, the constable yawned noisily and began to whistle. Whistling came nearer. Miles dropped down. They heard the constable's footsteps coming up to May's cell. The barred door clanked. Then the footsteps receded. The whistling grew fainter. An inner door shut, and the lamp glow disappeared. At once, Miles was up again and prying at the nails. An eighth was out, a ninth, a 10th. Winnie counted carefully while behind her, counting. Her mind sang, "Stone walls do not a prison make." Miles handed down the prying tool. He grasped the bars of the window firmly, ready to pull, and stood poised. What is he waiting for? Thought Winnie. Why doesn't he? Then a flash of lightning, and soon after, a crack of thunder. In the midst of the noise, Miles gave a mighty heave, but the window did not budge. The thunder ebbed. Winnie's heart sank. What if it was all impossible? What if the window would never come out? What if she looked over her shoulder at the dark shape of the gallows and shuddered? Again, a flash of lightning, and this time, a crashing burst of noise from the swirling sky. Miles yanked. The window's frame sprang free, and still grasping it by the bars, she tumbled backward off the box. The job was done. Two arms appeared in the hole left by the missing frame. May! Her head appeared. It was too dark to see her face. The window? What if it was too small for her to squeeze through? What if? But now her shoulders were out. She groaned softly. Another flash of lightning lit her face for an instant when Winnie saw an expression there of deep concentration. Tip of tongue protruding, brows furrowed. Now Tuck was on the box helping her, giving her his own shoulders to pull on. Miles and Jessie close at his sides, upstretched, eager to receive her bulk. Her hips were free. Now, look out! Here she came, her skirt staring on the rough edges of the boards, arms flailing. And they were all in the heap on the ground. Another crash of thunder, muffled. Jessie bursting. Exultant laugh. May was free. Winnie clasped her trembling hands thankfully, and then the first drop of rain plopped precisely on the tip of her nose. The tucks untangled themselves and turned to her, one by one. As the rain began, they drew her to them and kissed her. One by one she kissed them back. Was it rain on May's face? On Tuck's? Or was it tears? Jessie was last. He put his arms around her and hugged her tight and whispered the single word, "Remember." Then Miles was on the box again, lifting her. Her hands grasped the edges of the window. This time she waited with him. When the thunder came, it tore the sky apart with its roar, and as it came, she pulled herself through and dropped to the cot inside, unharmed. She looked up at the open square and saw the frame, with Miles' hands holding it. The next obliging roll of thunder saw it wedged once more into place. And then, would Miles put back the nails? She waited. Rain came in sheets now, riding the wind, flung crosswise through the night. Lightning crackled, a brilliant, jagged streak, and thunder rattled the little building. The tension in the parched earth eased and vanished. Winnie felt it go. The muscles of her stomach loosened, and all at once she was exhausted. Still she waited. Would Miles put back the nails? At last. Standing tiptoe on the cot, she grasped the bars of the window, pulling herself up till she could just see through. Rain blew into her face, but at the next flash of lightning, looking down, she saw that the yard was empty. And before the thunder followed, in a pause while wind and rain held back for one brief moment, she thought she heard, fading in the distance, the tinkling little melody of the music box. The tucks, her darling tucks, were gone. Chapter 25. The first week of August was long over, and now though autumn was still some weeks away, there was a feeling that the year had begun its downward arc, that the wheel was turning again, slowly now, but soon to go faster, turning once more in its changeless sweep of change. Winnie, standing at the fence in front of the Touch-Me-Not cottage, could hear the new note in the voices of the birds. Whole clouds of them lifted, chattering into the sky, above the wood, and then settled, only to lift again. Across the road, goldenrod was coming into bloom, and an early drying milkweed had opened its rough pod, exposing a host of downy-headed seeds. As she watched, one of these detached itself into a sudden breeze and sailed sedately off, while others leaned from the pod as if to observe its departure. Winnie dropped down cross-legged on the grass. 2 weeks had gone by since the night of the storm, the night of May Tuck's escape, and May had not been found. There was no trace of her at all, or the Tuck, or of Tuck, or Miles, or Jessie. Winnie was profoundly grateful for that, but she was also profoundly tired. It had been a tiring 2 weeks. For the 100th time she reviewed it all, how the constable had come into the cell soon after she had settled herself on the cot, how he had let down a shutter over the window to keep out the rain, how then he had stood over her as she hunched out under the blanket, her breath heavy, trying to look as large as possible. How? Finally, she had gone away and not come back till morning. But she had not dared to sleep, for feared she would kick off the blanket and give herself away, give the tucks away unwittingly. So she had lain there, pulse thudding, eyes wide open. She would never forget the rattle of the rain on the jailhouse roof, or the smell of the wet wood on the darkness that had saved them all, or how difficult it was not to cough. She had wanted to cough as soon as it occurred to her that she mustn't, and she passed a long hour trying to swallow away the tickle that perversely constricted her throat. And then she would never forget the crash outside that made her heart race, that she could not investigate and did not understand till morning. When on the way home, she saw the gallows had blown over in the wind. But oh, it made her tremble still to remember the constable's face when he found her. She had heard first of bustling in the front of the jail. Epilogue. The sign said, "Welcome to Tregat," but it was hard to believe that this was really Tregat. The main street hadn't changed so very much, but there were many other streets now crossing the main street. The road itself was blacktopped. There was a white line painted down its center. May and Tuck, on the seat of the clattering wooden wagon, bumped slowly into Tregat behind the fat old horse. They had seen continuous change and were accustomed to it, but here it seemed shocking and sad. "Look," said Tuck. "Look, May. Ain't that where the wood used to be? It's gone. Not a stick or a stump left. And her cottage, that's gone too." It was very hard to recognize anything from the little hill, which had once lain outside the village, and was now very much a part of it. They thought they could figure things out. "Yes," said May. "That's where it was, I do believe. Course, it's been so long since we were here, I can't tell for certain. There was a gas station there now. A young man in greasy overalls was polishing the windshield of a wide and rusty Hudson automobile. As May and Tuck rolled past, the young man grinned and said to the driver of the Hudson, who lounged at the wheel, "Looky there. In from the country for a big time?" And they chuckled together. May and Tuck clattered into the village proper, past a Catholic mixture of houses, which soon gave way to shops and other places of business. A hot dog stand, a dry cleaner, a pharmacy, a 5 and 10, another gas station, a tall and white frame building with a pleasant veranda. The Tregat Hotel Family Dining, easy rates. The post office. Beyond that, the jailhouse, but a larger jailhouse now, painted brown, with an office for the county clerk. A black and white police car was parked in front, with a red glass searchlight on its roof, with a radio antenna, like a buggy whip, fastened in the windshield. May glanced at the jailhouse, but looked away quickly. "See beyond there?" she said, pointing. "That dinner? Let's stop there and get a cup of coffee, all right?" "All right," said Tuck. "Maybe they'll know something." Inside, the diner gleamed with chrome and smelled like linoleum and ketchup. May and Tuck took seats on rumbling swiveled stools at the long counter. The counterman emerged from the kitchen at the rear and sized them up expertly. They looked all right, a little queer, maybe their clothes, especially, but honest. He slapped the cardboard menu in front of them and leaned on the foaming orangeade cooler. "You folks from around off?" he asked. "Yep," said Tuck, "just passing through." "Sure," said the counterman. "Say," said Tuck cautiously, fingering the menu, Didn't this used to be wood once? Down the other side of town?" "Sure," said the counterman. "Had a big electric storm through, though, about 3 years ago. Now or thereabouts. Big tree got hit by lightning, split right down the middle, caught fire and everything. Tore up the ground, too. Had to bulldoze her all out." "Oh," said Tuck. He and May exchanged glances. "Coffee, please?" said May. "Black for both of us." "Sure," said the counterman. He took the menu away, poured the coffee into thick pottery mugs, and leaned again on the orangeade couch.
Imani, thank you so much. You were the perfect reader to end this incredible book. Come back next week while we continue Watson Wednesdays and Fridays and continue to share Maniac McGee as we come to the end of that on Maniac Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we'll be reading some great picture books on Monday. Have a great day. Be safe, be healthy, and remember. He said it, but I'll say it too. Reading is power.